Hello and welcome to the Friday, July 14th edition of the SIG ContribEx Contributor Comms team meeting. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. I have sent the notes doc in the chat and I've got it up here and I'm sharing my screen. So we'll get into that in a second. But before we start with our regular agenda for the day, I usually at least try to offer an opportunity for anyone who's new to the call to say hello. You can unmute and say a little bit about who you are and what you're looking to get out of being in the meeting today. Or you can type in the chat, or you can do nothing because it's totally optional. You have that opportunity now.
I am adding names. If you want to be more specific than your Zoom name, feel free to update the doc.
Okay, my name is Mohab. I'm from Egypt. I'm looking forward to contribute to Kubernetes, but I'm still new, so I'm still trying to figure out a way.
Welcome.
I've been to Egypt a few times. What part are you from?
Alexandria.
Oh, beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks.
Excited to have you. I'll do a little bit of review about our group then to start us off today. So Kubernetes is organized into special interest groups like SIG ContribEx, which is where we are. And there's a special interest group for infrastructure. There's one for testing. There's one for cloud providers. All sorts of different aspects of the project are grouped into these different special interest groups. So if there's an area of technology within Kubernetes that you're particularly interested in, definitely check out those special interest groups that you might be interested in. Contributor experience is all about making sure that folks contributing to Kubernetes have a good time and have the tools that they need to do so. So we are a sub-project within contributor experience where we focus on communications within the project. So our mission essentially is to make sure that folks contributing to Kubernetes understand what's going on with the project, helping with communications about important events going on in the community, such as we'll probably be helping with comms around the steering committee election that's coming up. KubeCon is coming up, so we'll be helping with some communications about things contributors are doing there. We have a Spotlight blog post, a blog post series where members of our group interview the leads of special interest groups and then write a blog post about what that special interest group does. So that's a consistent task that is very welcoming to new folks. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later in the meeting, and you might want to watch out for that if you're looking for something active to do. Though one of my favorite recommendations for folks new to the community is to just start joining meetings and kind of see what kinds of work appeal to you. Because different special interest groups do different things. There's no rule that you have to be involved in only one or anything like that. So you can take your time figuring out what works for you in terms of contribution. Welcome.
Yeah.
There is no one size fits all. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm trying to join meetings in every SIG so I can understand.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I want to understand how it all works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we can go over that more in detail later if you want, once we get through the meeting, if we have time.
Okay. Yeah, so it would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you have a sense of a spot within the project that you want to start contributing to, you might want to do that for a little bit and then apply to the release team. That might be interesting for you if you're trying to learn things kind of generally.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I think we'll dive into our agenda for the day. This is very informal. If you want to interrupt at any time with a total tangent or something related to what we're talking about, or something totally unrelated, obviously, you feel free. You are welcome to do so. So let's start with updates and big wins. SIG CLI Spotlight article. Let's hear about it, Federico.
Yep. So It's as written. So the bulk of the work obviously was from Arfit, but the process itself took a couple of days, and we had to reschedule the publication date for next week. But that way we have two major wins, one for the merge and another one for the publication. But yeah, it's done in both contributor site and the website.
Wonderful. I was like, where are my links? And I went looking for it, but released next week. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And that was Arpit, right?
Yep.
Thank you, Arpit. And congratulations on releasing your first Spotlight blog post, even though you're not here. We thank you anyway.
Yep.
All right. And another very exciting one we've been struggling with for the last few weeks. Sujay, would you like to talk about it?
Yeah. So in the last meeting, we were playing with the Slack bot off the record. So that's why I added to, no, it was not official that it was working. And after adding it in all the channels that Bob mentioned, it is working fine.
Yay. So did you end up manually going through and adding the Slack bot to every channel?
Yeah. And
Oh.
that includes joining the team too, joining the channels too.
Thank you so much for doing
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
manual work.
Yeah. I'm very sorry it's manual too. I don't think there's a way around that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
At least we couldn't find one, and hopefully we won't have to find one at least for another couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, folks can add it to the channel themselves, right? Like they don't need us, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So like maybe we should write a doc on that and just stick it somewhere.
Yeah.
one more
Anything
thing,
you would like to document about this.
or if you already know of a doc that exists, we just remind.
Yeah, we
folks.
do.
Yeah,
I shared a doc in the last meeting.
Yeah.
I will open up here to add in the comms section.
Beautiful.
We desperately need that.
Yeah. I mean, now that we kind of figured out where it all is and how to manage it, we should document it. And then especially have a document for end users of this tool. And that could be the same thing. That. It could be end user stuff first and then technical details after. It could all be on the same page or doc or whatever.
Indeed. Thank you so much for doing that and for finding that doc.
Absolutely amazing work. Thank you.
Very impactful. We will definitely need that for KubeCon.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, how far out are we?
Oh, don't.
4 months. So we'll probably wait a little bit on preparing all of the tweets for it.
Just 20 weeks.
Don't say it like that.
Yeah, when you say it like that,
that feels
scary,
worse.
Huh? Yeah, That's how they're doing it for reInvent. It's great. It's like every email I get, and 20 weeks from reInvent. I'm like, and it's so far behind. Great, thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. Actually, is it 20 weeks from reInvent? Also, are they? They don't overlap, do they?
No, but there's a 2
because they're usually very close to that.
They are very close, and I think are closer than ever this year. It's literally 2 weeks apart, right? Like KubeCon, I think Thanksgiving week, and then reInvent is how it goes this year. So hence why I'm not volunteering to lead anything for the Contributor Summit.
Good idea. Speaking of which, that's a good update that we might want to talk about. Avinash, you're going to be the comms lead, right? Any particular updates on that? I think we mentioned it last time, so maybe there's nothing in particular. I think they had their first meeting last week, but people didn't know what was happening and stuff. That was like the test meeting.
The meeting before everybody updates their calendar.
The first pancake. I don't know if people have heard the pancake rule. You always throw away your first pancake. It's always wonky.
Really? That's a rule?
That's a thing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Today I learned.
It's
Well, I
possible
had
to
some
avoid it.
question regarding it.
Yes.
So there was a task to look into the role handbook and to do the changes. And what I see for now is we have not that doesn't mention anything about Mastodon. And now, as we have those accounts, are we going to promote it there as well?
Yeah, basically once CNCF pays for buffer, yeah, we're gonna promote stuff there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the default like sharing setup right now. So yeah, that would be optimal.
Okay, then I'll raise a PR to that, and it's a bit weird because I do see some changes in my local, but I don't see on the Kubernetes/community page, which is weird.
It's not
Currently,
merged
what
yet,
I'm
is it?
no, so I have a change in my local, and just to be confirmed, I cloned it a few days before only, and I do see some links and changes over there in my local, but I don't see those in the repo.
Weird.
Yeah.
Hmm. I can look into that real quick. We can continue on with everything
Yeah,
else.
we can
though.
continue.
Yeah.
Oh, also an update big win. It looks like this got merged.
Yes.
Thank
it
you,
did.
Frederico, for being on top of GitHub issues and pull requests. An important skill, which I could do to develop more. But this is finally in, so that should mean, let me put this in the notes before I check that. Merged. So now I've just messed up several other PRs, I'm pretty sure. Is there a way for me to get to the... No. I'm just going to navigate all the way there. Communication, contributor comms. All right, here we go. So, yes. So we now have an updated description here about what a shadow is in our group. So we have different lead roles that handle different responsibilities. And a shadow is someone who is training to take over that role. And that's called out clearly here in the README. I also took out the storytellers, which was just a catch-all role for anyone that is a member of our group. But it didn't make sense to anyone, so we just removed it from the table in the README, and also we never kept it up to date, so removed that. So some basic updates to the README here, and there are a couple of other PRs that we have to update the list of leads, and I apologize for messing those up. But that's exciting. All right, any other updates, big wins we want to go over before we hop into new items and then the board? Any
Twitter
updates on
Spaces.
Twitter Spaces alongside each SIG Spotlight? So we brought that up in the last SIG ContribEx meeting. And Josh brought up one good point, which was that he's worried about how it would look for us to start doing Twitter Spaces. Like it might look like a stronger investment into Twitter when Twitter is doing lots of bad things.
There's a perception problem. Let's just
there's
say
a perception problem with it. Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily like, no, you can't do Twitter Spaces. It's like there's a lot of upheaval on social media right now. You got Twitter, you got Reddit, you got all these new things coming online. And is Spaces really the right place?
Especially because because of like, we want to make sure that we are a welcoming and inclusive community, and Twitter doing some bad stuff there right now.
Can we do podcasts on YouTube? I really don't. I mean, I would want some serious structure around podcasts, right? Like I would want to see a content schedule. I would want to see all kinds of like who's producing, who's speaking, who's, uploading, who's doing all that. Like that all needs to get figured out. And even then, if we went to, the larger SIG with, hey, we have this idea, here's the plan. I don't even know if it would get approved at this point, because I don't think the community wants to run a podcast, to be honest, right? Like it's like the community meeting almost, right? Like it was good for a little bit. Now, not so much. I don't know. Mixed feelings, right? Like I would love to do it, but I'm not sure feasibility, and like we need like basically an annual plan, essentially, in my opinion.
Podcasts are a lot of work.
Yeah, they're a ton of work. It's not just grab a mic and start reading. It's very much.
You have to write what you're going to read first. Then you have to edit it, and then you have to decide when you're going to post it, and you have to decide how you're going to promote what you're going to post.
Where are you posting it to? Because those avenues are pretty much owned by somebody now too. And like, if you're posting it only on Spotify, does that actually the open source gold? No. So yeah.
And if you're posting about it on social media or forums or anything like that, then making sure that you're ready to respond to comments and interact with the community if you want to do that, or if you're not going to do that, clearly stating that. There's a lot that would go into it.
Yeah.
So I would advise,
having done a podcast both as a producer and as a speaker, I know that it requires far more upfront work than you realize to be successful. With our limited resources, is it the right use of our time? That's kind of the question, I guess.
So that is our advice.
Yeah.
Even because the podcast, the term itself, brings with it the idea of some regularity, right? It isn't a one-off thing. That would be something else.
And to be successful, you have to do it like every 2 weeks or once a month.
Right, exactly.
That's the biggest gap you can have, is like once a month kind of thing. I feel like 12 a year, basically. But really what you want is every 2 weeks, which is 24 episodes a year. So when you look at it like that, yes, it's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still haven't got the every 2 weeks thing down very well.
I could see, and we discussed this before, and I think it was actually Chris' suggestion at the time. I could see middle ground between not doing anything and doing a podcast, which was that idea around when we have any article or any published interview, we could do a quick, let's call it Twitter space-like kind of thing, right? Because it wouldn't require a lot of preparation. It would be more, this is the topic, let's just talk a bit. It doesn't necessarily get recorded. That's up for everyone else to decide. And it could eventually lead to some interesting real-time interactivity. That being said, there are, and I'm reading the agenda. There are obviously when you make a choice in a platform, you end up living with the good and the bad, and the way that currently things are perceived could be an issue. But maybe we can keep alerts and try to identify if there's any similar solution that is emerging that would require us to do like this quick fire kind of thing, right? Like.
I mean, we would need to basically set it up to be a quick fire kind of thing, and specifically say it's not a podcast or a live stream or anything that, right? Like, this is just a executive summary or whatever you want to call it, right? Like,
I think Twitter Spaces are the right form factor. It's just the platform is the issue,
right? And then we even mentioned like, Reddit. Same problem.
Reddit also has a thing like this, but.
Basically everybody has a voice feature to some extent, right? Like, thank you, Clubhouse.
Clubhouse was the first one I remember,
right? And then like no one's really the dominant platform.
And Reddit also has the issue that the Kubernetes Reddit is an unofficial community. So if we were to run like a Kubernetes community thing on r/Kubernetes, it would give it a bit more credence, and that could be an issue for the whole community. Yeah. So
that's, I would keep this in the oven, in the back burner, as it were, and see if something emerges as a viable solution. Because for right now,
yeah, I mean, keep it on the back burner for sure. Keep your ear to the ground. I'm sure something's going to break loose at some point, right? Like all this social media upheaval is going to settle down. And it might not be until the end of the year. It could be, next spring we're talking about this, but eventually there'll be something and it'll make sense, I feel like.
I love that you all care about finding new ways to interact with the community and share messages and stuff. That is exactly what we should be doing.
Yes, but we're impeded by the environment that we're into.
Sometimes the ideas don't work, but it's still good to have them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just because you have an idea right now that gets shot down doesn't mean it won't in the future, or will in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think we'll move on from that slightly depressing topic. So for new items, we already mentioned this, but I wanted to put in that buffer is currently broken. Sorry about that. I put in the request for the updated funding because we needed higher funding in order to add Mastodon to buffer.
Which
that got approved. It got approved, but they didn't actually update it. So it lapsed. So we're currently in a free account. So I'm working with the CNCF right now to get that fixed. Yeah, they just need me to send them something and I didn't get around to it. And so I remember that this morning and put that on my to-do list. So I will make sure to get that resolved hopefully before our next meeting. So hoping to get it resolved before this meeting, but just so you know. So if anyone needs social media posts while that is broken, we might have to, the sub-project leads might have to do that manually.
Yeah, we'll have to do it manually.
We are the ones with access to everything at the moment. Though if we have someone else take over a social media lead, that might change. When is the SIG update for
Oh yeah, when is that due?
August 10th is what I had, right? Isn't that what I said?
Right. You said August 10th. And I'm like, is there an email? Is there some place I'm supposed to put it? Or anything?
I found it in Bob said it in a meeting.
Bob said it in a meeting. Great.
Which I trust as law.
Yes. Where was that conversation? Did Bob respond to that? I forget.
Oh, I said it's due August 10th. And that I thought you were talking about that. And he was like, oh, yes, you're talking about that. And that's all he said. I think that is an agreement that August 10th is correct.
Yeah. All right. I'll ping Mr. Bobby Tables.
Very good. Anything else about that imminently? I think we just kind of need to put together the information that we want to cover in that, and then
yeah, that's really it. And I've got, so your maintainer track session last year was a great kind of like framework for me to work with too. So
nice.
Yeah.
For all the 10 people that attended it.
But here's the thing, it gives us kind of a jump start on this, which is nice.
Yeah, that is true. I have the slides for that. I should send you the slides.
I have the slides.
Okay.
I found them.
Oh yeah, that's right, because we post them. Perfect. We're working on that for this time as well. Yes.
Wow, I cannot write today.
Sounds good. So we discussed last time that the plan is that you will investigate that and keep us informed.
So are you on the leads list?
Yes, I am.
Okay, there's an email that was sent to leads about it.
Well,
so
I can find
down.
That. Yeah, I can find that and send it to
you. Yeah, that's what Bob said. Like an email sent to leads. Okay, cool.
Okay. Let me write that down in a physical form or I will
And
forget it.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out, do I not have access? I guess I don't have access to leads as a sub-project lead, do I?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's just SIG level leads.
Leads at.
Okay, that should be enough. Very good. One other item that I should add in here. I don't know if it's an update or a new item, but Avinash, we're going to work on getting you as a shadow for the sub-project lead roles. I think we
Yes.
discussed that in a previous meeting.
Yeah, we did
FYI,
talk about it.
everyone.
Haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it after this because I wanted to confirm Avinash comms lead shadow and Sujay to tech lead. Like if everybody's cool with that, we're just gonna make it happen. I did discuss with Caslin this week, just real quickly, kind of consensus on how we should have some policy around consensus. And basically our core group is essentially too small, right? Like a 72 hour consensus wait is essentially just forcing yourself to wait 72 hours to hit approve. Lazy consensus for this team isn't really necessary, we hope. But if we get a little bit bigger, it will be, I feel like. So if you have objections to that or want us to go through, whatever the ContribEx, due diligence phase is, we can do that. That's fine. But I don't think there's going to be much feedback. And again, it would be, waiting X amount of time before we hit merge kind of thing. Which, as we all know, we tend to forget about those. So.
Are folks okay with that for approving shadows and leads to positions? It's basically going to be the call of that lead or the sub-project leads. We'll intend to discuss it in these meetings, but there will be no formal process for review of changes to the leadership of this sub-project because we think we're a little too small.
Yeah, for now. It's not a permanent.
That doesn't mean you're not welcome to comment on anything that we
absolutely.
do.
If you have an objection, please let us know.
But we won't implement a formal process. Are people okay with that? People have opinions. We would love to hear them.
All right.
I'm hearing nothing, which is exactly what we would hear if we
Implemented
implemented this process. So yes. I think the process has been done.
Jeez.
Done and tested.
All
right, perfect. I'm going to move into the board now then. Unless anyone else has any updates, big wins, new items that they want to go over before we hop into this. I think we're good. Slackbot is not still broken.
Oh, I missed that. I was trying to clean up all that stuff and I missed the little board thingy. Sorry.
I have this assigned to Sujay 2 days ago. Seems to be working fine. So I think this is good to close.
Mm-hmm.
Close as completed?
Yeah. Finite.
Thank you, Sujay, for tracking this down. That was not the clearest sentence I've ever written, but I don't care. All right, close with comment. If I do that, will it move it to done? No, it moved it to ready to review.
It just moves it over one. Yeah.
It was in progress.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to move that to done. Thank you, Sujay, for giving me a chance to move something on the table. It's great. Feels good. All right. I guess we should really be starting with the ready for review stuff though. Add README for storytelling resources.
Should be merged. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 days ago, LGTM'd and approved. Avinash, you also LGTM'd it. So this looks good. Oh.
Well, my LGTM didn't work because I forgot to add a slash before LGTM.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Always happens.
Can relate.
And if you go back and edit the comment, you always wonder, will that actually work?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Probably not.
it didn't.
It didn't work? Okay.
Nope. Okay.
Noted.
Yeah,
I will
it doesn't
forget.
Work.
But it looks like this is done, right, Frederica? It should be.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was on mute. It is done, yes.
Wonderful. So if we go
And
now
it's
to
merged.
blogging resources, which it is now called, there's a 9.
Oh, there's a
something to be
how
fixed.
did that get there? Yeah, that's
Whoops.
That's fine.
that's for later.
I did not catch that. I'm so sorry.
Neither of
Ah,
you
it's
did,
fine.
so-
We'll just push a correction, but the rest is there.
Chris
so-
Short doesn't lead the first line of any document, by the way.
It's
That
still
should be 3
way better than it
dashes.
was. Still wonderful. So if you're interested in contributing blogging content to our group,
Yes.
you can now go to this page, which I'll put in the chat, and then I will get to Avinash's question. And you can see some information about how we do blogs here and like what resources we have to help you. So check that out if you're interested in helping with blogs. Quick question from Avinash. You want to say aloud?
Yeah, so I was wondering if the summit's marketing team is different from what comms is,
Yes.
because that is marketing and this is comms, and we were marketing as well back then. So
Yeah, but it's
Oh.
like, so
Yeah.
before we had you, we didn't have an event lead. So we were just like 3 people who could like help out all of these various things that were going on. So each
Mhm.
thing has its own like comms or marketing person. And then
Or
we would
both.
help that person.
Exactly.
So since we do have you as an event lead now, we could change that, but we would have to go through each one of those things and be like, you don't need this anymore. Just talk to us. And that sounds like it would cause all kinds of problems. So I think the way that it is and the way that it shall probably stay, opinions welcome, is that each thing that's going on in the community, like the contributor summit or the steering election doesn't have this. I don't know, other things that would have this have their own marketing person who's like the person who should tell us that things are happening and that they need our help, which is usually someone from our group because our group is awesome and super involved in things. But if we're ever not someone from our group, we would still help. Does that make sense? That sound like a good thing?
Wait.
You can sorry, go on.
Go ahead. No, I was going to be off topic, so go ahead. Sorry.
I might be off topic as well. So
Off topic, welcome. That sounds like that one's settled.
Oh
no,
man.
it's very quickly. I opened the PR for the correction of that 9. So we can add it to the board. That was just what I wanted to mention.
Okay, so here's my off-topic thing. Sujay is a shadow or lead for tech?
Oh, so Jay, do you want to be a lead or tech lead for our group?
Because right now it's
Because there's no one for you to shadow.
It's the people that are already here, right? Like,
Well, except that The person officially in the lead role for tech hasn't been on in months.
Oh,
So
it's a Tarva. I'm reading this wrong. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good
it's
point.
a Tarva and it's Imran, and neither of them have been on a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're a lead, buddy. Congrats.
Very official process.
Yes, indeed.
It's like Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
promoted
doing my part
until you die, or I find it someone better to do the job. So
Yeah.
Not save any of this and go back.
Can I just like add that to the board? Is that a thing?
What? Adding
I just
people to the things?
no. I was doing it, but yeah, it's maybe better for you. Just delete that. Go to the board. Delete that. Start with an hash sign.
okay. Just do the number.
Yeah. Now go and select community.
And
And now it should be the first one.
7398, right?
Yeah. And then it's done.
And there it is. Well, thank you. I'm so glad that you revived the board. Granted, that other board is still around, and apparently it would like deprecate our whole repo if we got rid of it. But
I really want to reach out to somebody at GitHub about that, to be honest with you, because that seems like they wouldn't want that to happen.
put it as a task on the board. I'll put it over here. Reach out to
Luna, what are you? Sorry. What are you doing? What are you doing?
puppy problems.
Get out of there. No, ma'am. You may not chew my cable.
We should probably at least like remove all of the links to the deprecated board, which are down here in the working session items, which is a section that we literally never use. So we should probably just get rid of that section.
Take it from the template too, please.
Yeah, I should just do that. I always think it's such a good idea, but it's not.
You should,
Something
yeah,
that we
there should
actually
just be
do.
like an actual boardwalk thing and done.
Yeah. It's just the new board that we actually walk through, which is here. So
There you go. Well, don't say article, say board.
yeah.
Say work in
I'm just
progress
gonna make
board
that
or
like the
something.
headline too.
There you go. Yeah, why not?
I think that's the way to do it.
Okay.
All right.
And if you have
Template
any
updated.
updates, they should
Why
be
wasn't
on
that on
board.
the board so that I can move that to done? Okay, so both of these README updates are merged. So should I move those to done?
Yeah. If they're merged, it is done.
Yes.
Unless there's
Good.
something else to be done.
And SIG CLI is also essentially done. So gonna move that one to done?
Like,
Yep.
is
Good
it-
to go?
yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Dun,
Love
dun,
it.
dun.
Love it when I can drag and drop things during a meeting. It's the little things in life. So let's look at things that are in progress. Is this a new thing that we created? Has this been here? Open last month.
Wait.
Document in Slack how you can get a tweet out. We were gonna like make a pinned post in our
Yeah,
Slack.
basically to contact one of us kind of thing, I think at this point.
Yeah.
It was a placeholder kind of deal.
Hello.
can-
Welcome to our Slack. You need to send a message on social media. Put that in the Slack.
Yeah.
That is the
yeah,
pinned message.
basically.
I'm amused by this.
If you need to talk to us, talk to us.
If you need to talk to us,
Just delete this.
it took us a month to think that through, huh?
Yeah. Just delete that.
Won't fix. Won't.
I mean, I feel like we've done a good enough job of letting folks know we're out there at this point. Like, you want to send a tweet, you know who owns this, right? Otherwise, we need to like put it on all our accounts, which I think it is too. So yeah.
Don't we have a bot now in every single account? We can use it to spam people with. Don't forget that we can. You can send a Slack
You
message.
can do all your comms through one sub-project.
Exactly.
We should do that as like a YouTube video, like from the ShamWow guy. If you haven't seen those commercials,
Oh, I'm
like,
so
those
into
are
this.
hilarious.
We should do it at KubeCon.
Right? Like,
all right, need costumes, need props.
I'm happy to fly somewhere to do this. God.
I like this idea. Should I add that to the board?
We'll
put it in our notes. I'm
know.
actually going to put that in our notes.
Okay,
you can't
fine.
stop me. Feel like this, if this meeting wasn't at 8 a.m. on a Friday for me, there'd be a lot less of this.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's when you're not here. That's when it's bad.
It's not bad. It's just less all over the place and actually gets through the agenda in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, that should be a new item.
Pull request to update the README with new roles is open. I'll drop it here. Luna, get out of there. Not for you.
And someone is adding something in the notes. Ah, this thing. So I assume that's Sujay. Yeah. So that is a very good question that I had been ignoring. Where do we want to add this in our repo?
How to use this?
Yeah. I would have said storytelling resources before, but now storytelling resources is blogging resources, which is not Slackbot resources.
What do you think about adding it under contributor accounts folder?
Just like in the
directly
main
under.
one?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I'm
like
fine with that.
Slackbot,
Because it is not.
that's cool.
It is not related to the existing folders.
Yeah, cause I mean,
yeah,
I'd say just put Slackbot in there as a folder and put that doc in, and off we go.
Do we think we'll ever have other stuff though?
Potentially.
Slackbot? Should we make a folder now, or should we just? I think maybe we should just add this doc
as a file
by itself,
just
and then make it a folder when we have other stuff.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, or a folder called automation or something, not specifically about Slackbot, right? Because then we can,
because there could be documentation about Zapier and all that other stuff. Yeah. Let's do that.
And that could be linked to the tech lead, for example, right?
Bingo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Congratulations on your newfound responsibility, Sujay.
PR Zen.
You own the responsibility of creating a folder. I'm going to add that. Also, Frederico, you created a beautiful new item for the table, just so you know.
I did?
Yeah, apparently. 5
Oh.
minutes ago.
A draft. You hit new and it saved it.
Yeah, it's for us to contemplate on the meaning of what we actually do. Like, it's a single quotation mark with no end. So I will delete it though.
Someone remind me where. Never mind. I figured it out.
Oh no, it wants to create it as an issue. Should we create it as an issue?
Go ahead. Do it. Go ahead. Create it as an issue, please. Like, we should have more issues in PRs just in general, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
We should show like a churn of work happening.
Yeah. And that's what I did in the SIG architecture one, actually. The idea was to test drive it, but I ended up choosing the one that is taking the longest. But the idea was to have the issue with the statement, with the initial intention, and then to have the PR to close the issue automatically.
This is going to be an ugly issue.
Fine. We like ugly issues around these parts.
They're better than non-existent issues.
Bingo.
Like I say about content, the best content is the content that exists.
I literally just shared a quote about how like waiting for the perfect moment to do everything means nothing will happen kind of thing. It's in the same vein as this. Content is better than content in progress.
It's true. Unfortunately. Because if the other one counted, oh boy. About Slack, bot, Zapier, automation, etc. Owned by
What do you need?
Contrib.
What do you need?
Sub-project tech lead. I'm just going to leave it at that and assign that to you, Sajay. This look good? Go with that?
Yeah. That's good.
I have created that. Aha, and here it is. It's
Be right back.
7,400. How do I? Aha. I want to put this in here. And I also want to put it in the notes because the more places where a thing exists, the more likely I am to remember it exists. Cool. Thank you very much, CJ. And we only have 7 minutes left. So boardwalk going as well as usual. SIG spotlight updates, Federico. Architecture node.
Nothing much from the other one. Not of people on so,
You're breaking up a lot, by the way.
The feedback I do.
Maybe that's just me.
1 second.
No, it's for me too.
Okay, thank you.
Should be better now.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I was saying that there's no updates. I did go around the missing ones yet again, but there are still quite a few people away on vacations. So it is what it is. When they come back, I can ping them again and then decide if we go through with the 4 spotlights sub projects that we have the answers to, or if we want to wait to have the 6. On the topic of the Contributor Summit organization, Noah is actually out on vacation as well, but he did agree with the initial set of questions, so we're waiting on it.
Sounds good. All right. And the individual owners, none of them are here today, I think, for some of the SIG spotlights. So update on the SIG ContribEx one is that I helped FICA go through her questions last week, and we decided that they were good to send to the other co-chairs and tech leads, which, as I was going over all of my work with my boss yesterday, she was like, you should see if you can get other people to help with this. So getting other people to help with that. All right, I'm going to move on from spotlights then that are in progress. Like I said, if you're new to the group and you are interested in taking on a task, you don't have to do that right now. But SIG spotlights are a good opportunity for that. If you are interested in interviewing a SIG and writing a blog post, ping us in SIG ContribEx comms, the Slack channel. Make sure that you at Federico, or even if you don't, we'll probably see it. Just let us know that you're interested in that, and we'll work that out with you. Guidelines for sensitive end user impacting comms. Are those active? Is that an active thing that we're working on?
It is not actively being worked on
No.
as
To do.
Yeah.
Add all use cases for Zapier automation. Zapier automation is in a good place, right? Do you still need
Zapier
this?
automation is in a good place, but we need to, this now becomes part of that automation folder, right? Like we need to take this and say, document all the Zapier automation in automation folder once created.
So that's assigned to you and Sujay now.
Mm-hmm. Sujay, I'll get you, we'll DM each other and I'll get you Zapier passwords and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Congratulations on your newfound responsibilities. How many times can I say that?
At least it'll be someone other than me trying to do this.
Yeah, that will be a good thing.
Yeah.
Diversifying responsibilities
Yay.
is a good thing. Investigate Twitter Spaces. We're definitely doing that. Should we move that to done?
Well, it's not a won't fix. It's not a done.
Well, it only said investigate.
Oh, that's true. Investigation complete, not a good time.
Yeah. Not that we'll forget about it.
Correct. Because we don't delete done things, do we?
Not right now.
Wonderful.
And I'll move that to done.
Yep.
Remember when we were like, hey, all leads, go and update your shadow requirements. Maybe one day we'll do that.
Everybody.
Didn't you do that, Frederico, already? Did you update
Somebody
your shadow
did.
requirements?
I think it's part of the I actually reviewed that last week. I think I've added that to to a bigger document about the blogging team. Let me see if I can. Well,
Okay.
Not now, because if I try to look things around, my sound will break. But leave it there, and when this ends, I will update it either by saying done, because it's there, or by adding something. But I think it's done. It's
Frederico taking his responsibility and doing it outside of our meeting.
No, yeah, because
amazing. How do you do that?
I can't do it right now because I would stop being heard. It's multitasking that's not working right in my computer.
Jesus.
I either use a browser or use Zoom.
That has its benefits.
Yeah, but I think it's done. Honestly, I think it's done. The content is there in a document. Maybe you can go there. I don't know. If you go to our repository, we can check it right now.
Frederico is your example of a strong lead.
Not far from it, but okay.
We all do things differently. We all have our good and points that we could work on. Thank you so much, though, for looking into that. And we are basically at time. I do have another meeting to get to, though it's not super urgent. Yep. I don't know that we really need to go through any of our to-dos. We all know where they are.
Yep.
So I think I'll call it there. Any last questions before I stop the recording for YouTube? Avinash, should I remove myself from events lead position on the page? Do you feel like you're an events lead? Do you feel like you want to continue to be an events lead? Because you can.
You can do that, but who would?
But you're also probably not doing anything.
Right. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If we need an more aligned events person, like, we should recruit somebody for that, I feel like.
That sounds fair. So I think, remove yourself and just make yourself the sub-project lead shadow.
Yeah, the only reason why I said is because there's no work to do. So maybe having the position is not good.
You are right.
Maybe somebody.
That's a good point. The idea was to be a liaison for the comms teams for everything, and maybe that's just not the right thing.
There just aren't a lot of everythings right now.
No, not without the community meeting and everything going away stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have a lot of things. This used to be a thing that was desperately
Yeah,
needed, but
It was. Yeah.
things change. So we
Okay,
appreciate
cool.
you filling it. But time to move on to sub-project leadership.
Should we create a to-do to remove the event lead? That's something we should debate in the next meeting, I feel like.
I'm going to do it.
Do it, please.
Oh, no. I don't want to make that an
thought.
issue, though.
No.
I'm just going to make it a thing.
Yeah.
Should I make it just update leads and shadows? Because we have several. I'm going to make it its own.
Yeah, but I've already done a PR for 2 of the 3. So
Okay. Sounds good.
We can
All right.
hack on that PR.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Cool.
And I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll see you next time, YouTube.
Later,
Bye,
y'all.
Bye-bye, cheers.
YouTube.